Is Shay Seeking from American Aborigines Unchained on Facebook and YouTube. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and continue in this book with the world's people. Okay. Um, and we're going to be on chapter 21, General Conditions of Savage Life, Relations of Existing Races to Their Barbarian Ancestry, demarcation between prehistoric and historic races. Now, here we go talking about a mark again. I've been, yeah. So anyhow, a demarcation. Okay, so again, that's also reminding me of enmity. Or again, I just picked up another one. Someone was speaking of air, and it was reminding me also of this particular thing, because again, like when I show you guys the caste system, how at the bottom, at one point in time, that bottom layer of the caste system was all the way together. It wasn't until after colonization or whatnot that then they removed the aboriginals or original groups from the abode of God and put them in the Sheol or the hell in the dome earth underneath the feet of the Freemason George Washington. In that Illuminati image that I always show you guys, whatever you want to, however you want to look at it, that's where you are, down in that portion. You do not get to go into the abode of God in the heavens or on a high, on high. Okay, but at some point in time, um, the Slavic races, or white Negroes, or white slaves, or cargo. Okay, um, uh, indentured slaves. Also, we're going to go into the Declaration because I found some things in there too that we need to really reread. Okay, so anyhow, uh, yeah, so in that realm. Okay, so then again, if they were down there with the earth, again, if we're talking about offspring of the earth or the grasses of the earth or indigenous people which would have ties to the earth that came through the earthlings or the womb of an aboriginal or original woman or race or group or whatnot. Okay, um at one point in time, poor whites or whatever you want to call them, the olive toned Irish, the people that came in from Ellis, whatever you want to talk about. Some point in time, these people feed off of the originals that have been brought down low. And once they get to a certain point and they can be off on their own, like we talk about in Genesis 1, then they can go ahead and create what, you know what I'm saying, with their own group uh, in abundance, or be fruitful and multiply after they have been raised up out of, it goes along with harvest and all that stuff. We think that they're talking about plants and corn and shit, and it's really talking about people and harvesting people. Because again, slavery was a lot of slavery that they don't talk about, and this is why they give you the depictions that they do in movies, so you can take that as real life, had to do with breeding. Simple as that. Sorry, that's my something pump. Okay. Um, So anyhow, that's off top. It's not off topic, but again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but again, I'm not one of those channels that's just trying to just put. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying. I know that there's probably new people coming in, and I'm just trying to give you know, um, a light dusting of everything in one. Okay, so let's see. Okay, the demarcation between the prehistoric and historic races. So again, the prehistoric, those who are original or aboriginals, and then Indians or that that came after. Okay, Native Americans or whatever. Okay, the conscious man. Again, these are just my takes on it. Okay, please do your own research or use your own discernment. The conscious man requires an uh, explanation of the past. Now, don't that sound like something right here? Okay, use of metals. coincident with historical consciousness. Use of metals. See, this metals keep popping up. And for some reason, I feel like this metal or some of these metals or heavy metal, for some reason, I just feel like it has something to do with the disturbance in the originals and their consciousness. I don't know. I don't know. That's just my take on it. Ever since I did that one thing about that movie, um, that review thing that I did on that movie probably about 3 months ago. Y'all know I got to be in it to be winning it. So you'll have to go back. I can't even remember the name of the movie right now, but they were talking about heavy metals and all this stuff like that to kill off the dark whatever. Okay, so anyhow, that's just what been on my mind. Okay, so evanescent characters of barbarian traditions, instances of want of race memory in savages. Okay. Transformation and early existence of barbaric legends. Wait, okay, hold on. Instances of want of race memory in savages. Huh. Made me think about brainwashing or something. Again, and you wouldn't believe I again, documentaries. But I was watching something about brainwashing and some supposed CIA agent or whatever. Again, you can never tell really with these people. And talking about that they were using brainwashing on prisoners of war. Um, uh, and he said of antiquity. And I'm thinking like, what? But again, we don't, you know, I have to admit that there are some unseen things. Why, how, or who, I don't know, you know? So persistency in integrity of customs and habits. Okay. Examples of preservation of Semitic manners. Hmm. Sounds like shamanic. But again, shaman and I don't know. Okay. Daily life of the Arabs, a transcript of that of Hebrews, common religious views on modern and ancient Semites. Gotta be talking about Shemites. Primitive Teutonic. Now, I just did something on these people too. I was reading something on these people uh, the other day, and then I want to say I was watching something else that briefly talked about them. But to find out that these particular people, and it was called Teutonic, and uh, there was another term being used for the groups that were either them previously or around them that started with a T, and they were growing cotton and dealing and trading in cotton prior to the slave trade or anything. And so I'm wondering why would they come here and kill all of those particular people that were specialists in growing cotton and then go over to Africa to get more people in the midst of all the wars and all of the crazy stuff that was going on. They didn't even have their whole footing on the land yet. So it's a lot of things that's very questionable. Okay. And then the fact that some of these ships that I was looking into that had something to do with South America or had something to do with even the English, uh, British, and that they were saying that these trips, even in 1890 maybe, only took like 6 days to get from here to there. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, are we talking about British colonies, maybe in the Isles, or are we talking about to get from all the way the fuck over there? I mean, so this is another thing. I know that I found them tripping it up that way before, talking about where they were coming from, but really the place was in a British colony, not actually in that land on the other side. So have survived to present day. I wonder why. Primitive. So these are primitive people. Uh, Teutonic manners have survived to present day. I wonder why, because are those people still in this land or still around under the name or the guise of something else or someone else? Monumental remains, the certain evidence of prehistoric condition, deductions drawn from fidelity of manners and customs, okay, inquiry into the primary origin of barbarism, two explanatory theories of the sources of barbaric state, hypothesis, hypothesis of the descent of mankind from an age of gold, okay, belief that the beginning of man's life was in savagery. See, that is a lie, a be lie, okay, that be a lie. That the beginning of man life was in savagery. Elaboration of, or maybe not, because if we're talking about man, you know what I think about that. Elaboration of this few arguments in, let's see, come on, its support. Okay, so there now you know somebody was arguing about this. This may not have been the case, or it may have. Race traditions generally point to an age of gold, difficulty of accounting for the uh, prevalence of such a belief, actual examples of the decline and the extinction of races. Okay, and decline, what does that mean? Um, it doesn't mean that they all died, it can mean that they fell. See, maybe down into the Sheol in the caste system. I mean, just what I'm saying. Okay. Monumental remains indicate the greatness of ancient peoples. Language seems to have been in an age of reason. Arguments may be advanced in support of opposing theory. Of opposing theory, backward look of history reaches barbaric beginnings. Races are discoverable in the actual process of evolution. Again, I look at evolution on a basic level, and it's definitely not, like I told you guys before. In my eyes, it's not the Darwin. In my eyes, if they're talking about somebody came from apes or monkeys, that is a low blow to the original people, in saying that they came from what they used to call you and depict you as at some point in time. Okay. And instead of just saying that they came from you because they're going to need you to be at the bottom, they said that they came from animals. And again, some may have, but some of these people came sprung right, like I said, from the womb of an American Aborigine or another Aborigine from somewhere else around this plane. Okay. Slow rate of race emergence from primitive savagery. Okay. So it was slow. Okay. Slow to love. I don't know where I was just going with that. History uh, replete with examples of human development. So human. So now we went from talking about man, mankind, human, savages. So again, just be careful. I'm just saying. The Greek evolution parallel with that of the Gauls. Now we're getting somewhere, I think. Okay. uh, rise of the Saxon race from barbarism to greatness, the fallen estate or class, see, estate or class, okay, of races differs wholly from savagery, okay. Monuments and languages have behind them low conditions, no responsible, oh, not responsible that perfected languages began at once. Okay. So again, first to hold on. Okay, so I think that this is the last one that I wanted to look into, and we're done. Thanks a lot for watching. See you guys soon. Take care.